If you're a tech worker right now, the headlines look brutal. Workday cut 8.5% of its workforce. Atlassian laid off 1,600. Klarna said AI could do the work of 700 customer service agents. And every week, another piece runs the same line. AI is coming for your job. But there's a different story those headlines aren't running. Last week, YCombinator published a list of 16 things they want startups to build. Read together. Those 16 tell you something the layoff narrative misses. The capital floor that gated software for 30 years just collapsed. The pie isn't shrinking. It's bigger than it's been since 1995. Here's the map. First, why the giants won. For 30 years, building enterprise software was a capital game, not a creativity game. SAP's flagship business suite, S/4HANA, runs on more than 100 million lines of code. Roughly 20,000 engineers, globally, maintain it. Salesforce spends about $1 of every $3 it makes on sales and marketing alone. Last fiscal year, that was over $13 billion. And the implementation industry around them, Accenture, Deloitte, Capgemini, pulls in tens of billions of dollars a year, much of it spent keeping the legacy code working. If you didn't have $50 million and 200 engineers, you didn't enter this market. Period. That wasn't a moat of innovation. It was a moat of capital intensity. And capital intensity is exactly what AI compresses. 3 engines built that floor: build, sell, and service. In the last 24 months, all 3 collapsed. Start with build. In 2005, reaching $10 million in annual revenue typically required $50 to $100 million in capital and 200 to 500 engineers. In 2026, the same milestone takes under $5 million and a team of 5 to 15. Sierra.ai, founded by Brett Taylor, yes, the man who used to be co-CEO of Salesforce, hit $100 million in revenue with under 50 employees in less than 2 years. He's not betting against Salesforce out of spite. He's building from a floor that didn't exist when he ran the giant. Even more telling, Salesforce's own engineering team used an AI tool called Cursor to cut a code coverage task from 26 engineer days down to 4, an 85% productivity gain, inside the world's largest CRM company. Then there's Sell, the traditional enterprise sales development rep, the human who books your meetings, costs $80,000 to $120,000 a year, fully loaded. An AI sales representative from a company like 11x.a-I starts around $5,000 a month. Per worker, that's a fraction of a human SDR fully loaded. Klarna's AI handled 2.3 million customer conversations in early 2024, work that had taken 700 full-time agents. Then Klarna walked it back. The CEO admitted the AI couldn't carry the hard cases and started hiring humans again. That's the real shape of this shift. AI takes the volume. Humans take the nuance. Monday.com publicly replaced 100 sales reps with AI agents. Workday cut 8.5%. Atlassian laid off 1,600, framed by its CEO as adapting to the AI era. These aren't startups disrupting incumbents. The incumbents are disrupting themselves. Finally, service. SAP has more than 20,000 implementation partners. Salesforce has 3,000. Accenture alone employs over 50,000 Salesforce-skilled consultants. Their job for 30 years was to translate company workflows into legacy code. AI configuration agents now read the same Slack channels and emails the consultants read and skip the discovery workshop entirely. A migration that used to take Accenture 2 years can now be done by a tool called SmartShift in days, with 95% of issues resolved automatically. 3 engines that gated 99% of builders out of enterprise software just turned into something a small team can run. The floor didn't drop a little. It dropped 50 times. Now here's the part most coverage misses. Cheaper SaaS isn't the headline. The headline is what's now buildable that wasn't before. When the floor drops, you don't just get new versions of old companies. You get entire markets that didn't exist as fundable businesses because the math didn't work. YCombinator's Summer 2026 request for startups names 16 prompts. About 7 of them are exactly this, markets that just became viable. Here are 5. First, personalized medicine. Designing a one-of-one cancer therapy for a single patient used to cost on the order of $20 million. Genome sequencing was expensive. The design loop was slow. Both costs collapsed. Sequencing fell faster than Moore's law. AI design loops compressed years of work into days. Research groups are now delivering custom therapies in the range of $50,000 per patient. That's not a SaaS opportunity. That's an entirely new category that didn't exist as a business 18 months ago. Second, counter-swarm defense. A Patriot missile costs $3 million. An attack drone built from off-the-shelf parts costs about $500. The Defender has been paying 6,000 times more per unit. That math has been broken for a decade, and it's why cheap drone swarms have reportedly disrupted critical infrastructure. AI changes the math. Cheap, distributed interceptors guided by real-time vision. As one YCombinator partner put it, drone defense looks less like operating a weapon and more like running a real-time distributed system. The winners will look more like Cloudflare than Raytheon. Third, AI native services. Tax, audit, compliance, accounting. Services every small business needs and most can't afford. A senior CPA charges $400 an hour. The 5-person consulting firm has a floor below which it can't take work. Millions of small businesses go without. An AI agent handling that same workflow runs at margins close to electricity cost. Suddenly, the bottom of the pyramid is a market. Fourth, AI native discovery engines. Drug research for diseases too rare to fund traditionally. Materials, science loops. Closed-loop hypothesized test iterate cycles that used to require thousands of researcher hours per result. When the cycle cost drops by 2 orders of magnitude, orphan diseases become fundable. Niche materials become economic. Research itself expands instead of contracting. Fifth, low pesticide agriculture. Per-plant treatment was physically impossible at scale until AI vision could identify a single weed in real time and direct a robotic actuator to it. A 90% reduction in chemical use with higher yields. That market did not exist 18 months ago. These aren't markets being attacked. They're markets being born. The math didn't work. Now it does. But here's where the architect's lens has to be honest. The floor doesn't drop evenly. Banking core systems, healthcare records, industrial control software. Anywhere data gravity, regulatory weight, or workflow customization is heavy, the incumbents still have time. The cloud took roughly 10 years to displace on-premise software. Even now, SAP and Oracle still run most of the world's enterprise resource planning. The same uneven pattern is unfolding here, accelerated but uneven. And not every incumbent loses. Oracle posted a $553 billion backlog this April, up over 300% year over year. Some giants are pivoting from selling software to renting AI infrastructure. They survive that way. And there's a real contrarian risk. AI-generated code accumulates technical debt fast. The CEO of Zoho recently warned that Vibe-coded products may collapse under scaling and security failures within 18 months. So this isn't a guaranteed victory for challengers. It's a race between the agility of the new and the gravity of the old. But the gates are open in a way they haven't been in decades. Pull back. YC's 16 prompts aren't 16 disconnected ideas. They're a layered map of what AI is rebuilding, substrate first and everything above it. Tier 1, the substrate. Inference chips designed not for prompt and response out, but for the agent loop. Diana Hughes' prompt argues current GPUs only hit 30 to 40% utilization on agentic workloads. Purpose-built silicon wins. Tier 2, hardware iteration. Faster supply chains. American manufacturing speed. Lunar electrolysis for raw materials. The physical layer being rebuilt for an AI-saturated world. Tier 3. The new software layer. SaaS challengers. Software for agents. Dynamic interfaces users can vibe code themselves. This is where Friedman's prompt sits. Tier 4. The company OS. Tom Blomfield's company brain. Diana Hu's AI operating system for companies. The missing infrastructure between fragmented company knowledge and reliable AI execution. Tier 5. Service replacement. AI native services. AI native discovery engines. Personalized medicine. The trillion-dollar service economy reimagined. Tier 6. Physical and regulated. Counter-swarm defense. Low pesticide agriculture. AI walking out of pixels and into matter. Tier 7. The go-to-market shift. Two-person teams selling to the Fortune 10. The procurement floor that used to favor incumbents is breaking too. Diana Hu wrote 3 of these prompts. Ankit Gupta wrote 2. That's not a wish list. That's a coordinated thesis. YC isn't betting on AI native SaaS. They're betting that everything above silicon gets rewritten. If you're a tech worker watching the layoff headlines and feeling like the doors are closing, you're reading the wrong signal. The doors are wider than they've been in your career. The thing that gated 99% of builders out, the capital floor, just collapsed. The bottleneck is no longer money or headcount. It's domain expertise, which is the one thing you already have. 3 takeaways. 1. AI didn't take the software job. It dissolved the capital floor that kept 99% of you from ever starting one. 2. The biggest opportunities aren't attacking SAP. They're in markets that didn't exist as viable businesses before. Personalized medicine. Counter-swarm. Sub-CPA services. 3. Read YC's 16 prompts not as ideas to copy, but as a map of where the floor just dropped. Pick the tier where your domain knowledge gives you a head start. If this kind of architectural breakdown is your thing, subscribe.